Answer: I had never been here, Mr. President. President, I meant not before this chamber, but with the investigators. Have you been interviewed by investigators of the Office of the Co-Investigating Judges of this court? Answer: I was interviewed. Question: how many times? Answer: I was interviewed twice. Question: I have a look at the WRIs of your interviews with the investigators, and the name that appear on the WRI is Theng Hui. Could you please clarify whether Theng Hui is the same? Answer: when I was interviewed for the first time, I did not work yet, and I was known as Hui. But in 1984, I worked for the agriculture section, and I changed to Paul, Theng Paul. President, however, the written record of your interview was not made in 1984. It was made actually in 2008. And why do you use the word Theng Hui in that written record of yours? And now you mentioned that your name is Theng Paul. Answer: I was interviewed at a Svai Anto, that is for the first interview, and I was an ordinary civilian, and my father is Theng, and my name is Hui. That's what I told them. Question: then what is your actual official name, in particular the name that appears on your identification card? Answer: currently I'm a civil servant, and my ID card carries the name of Theng Paul. President, thank you, Mr. Theng Paul. And do you recall your date of birth? Answer: yes. I was born in 1951 on the 11th of November of 1950, says the witness. President, thank you. And where were you born? Answer: I was born in Po Chandam village, Svai Anto commune, Prey Vang district. Question: and where is your current address? Answer: I came to work in Prey Vang province, so I relocated myself to village 7 in Prey Vang province. Question: so are you living in lot number 7 in Prey Vang provincial town? Answer: yes, I lived in lot number 7. Question: what is your occupation? Answer: currently I am a temporary civil servant at the Department of Agriculture. I am a contractor at the Department of Agriculture. And question, what is your father's name? Answer, my father is Teng, and my real mother passed away, and my stepmother is San. Question, what is the name of your real mother? Answer, my real mother's name is Kim. Question, what is the name of your wife and how many children do you have? Answer, my name is Red Oak. We have 3 children, 2 daughters and 1 son. President, thank you, Mr. Teng Paul. The greffier made an oral report this morning that you are not related by law to any other two accused, that is Nunchi and Kisampon, or to any of the civil parties admitted in this case. Is this information accurate? Answer, yes, that is accurate. I am not related to any of them. President, thank you. And have you taken an oath before the Iron Club statue before your appearance? Answer, yes, I took an oath before the Iron Club statue. President, thank you. And we would like now to inform you of your rights and obligations as a witness. Mr. St. Paul, as a witness in the proceedings before the chamber, you may refuse to respond to any question or to make any comment which may incriminate you. That is your right against self-incrimination. As for your obligations as a witness in the proceedings before the chamber, you must respond to any questions by the bench or relevant parties, except where your response or comment to those questions may incriminate you. As the chamber has just informed you of your rights as a witness, you must tell the truth that you have known, heard, seen, remembered, experienced, or observed directly about an event or occurrence relevant to the questions that the bench or parties pose to you. And you have stated that you were interviewed twice by the OCIJ investigators. Have you reviewed or read the written records of your interviews that you provided through the investigators in order to refresh your memory? Answer, I've read the statements and they reflect the statements that I made. President, thank you. Pursuant to Rule 91bis of the ECCC internal rules, the chamber gives the floor first to the co-prosecutors. The combined time for the co-prosecutors and the lead co-lawyers for civil parties is 2 sessions. You may proceed, co-prosecutor. Deputy National Co-Prosecutor, thank you, Mr. President. Allow me to say good afternoon to your honors and everyone in and around the courtroom. Good afternoon, Mr. Witness. My name is Sang Liang. I am a National Deputy Co-Prosecutor. I have some questions to put to you. And my questions relate to some historical backgrounds and the administrative structure. And after that, my international colleague will put further questions to you in relation to the treatment of the Vietnamese. Mr. Witness, can you tell the chamber where you lived and do before 1975? Answer. Before 1975, I lived in Pujandam village, Swayantor commune, Prevang district, Prevang province. Question. When did the Khmer Rouge enter and take control of your village? Answer. The Khmer Rouge took control in 1975. However, it was a small scale, and there were quite a number of Vietnamese troops in the area. Question. Were you living in that village at the time? Answer. Yes, I remained living in that village. Question. You said that some Khmer Rouge troops took control of the village. Can you be a bit more specific? Answer. The Khmer answer. I was simply a villager. I did not have any position. I was accused of a son of a capitalist. Question. When the Khmer Rouge came to control your village, did they assign their own people to engage in the administration of the village? Answer. In relation to the administration of the village, the village chief maintained his position. Question. And from 1975 onward, who was your village chief? Answer. By 1975, the village chief was replaced by someone from outside. Sein and Huan were people from the outside who came to control the village. Question. Amongst the two, Sein and Huan, which one was the actual chief of the village? Answer. Huan was the village chief. Question. What about Sein? Answer. Sein was his deputy.
Question. Besides the unit chief, did you know any of the militiamen? Answer. I do not know the militiaman, and I did not dare to ask about the presence of militiamen. Question. I a while ago made mention of a person by the name Ieng On, who was from Po Chen Dam as well. Did you know this person? Answer. Yes. Question. How did you know this person? Answer. We were friends when we were young, and we went to the same school.
នៅចំនួន
Question. What did Ieng On do in Pol Pot's time? Answer. He was simply an ordinary citizen back then. We were colleagues going around digging the canal and working the field. Question. Did you know another person by the name Aang beside Ieng On? Witness. Sorry, counsel, could you repeat the name again? What is the name? Counsel. The name is Aang. Answer. I do not know this person by the name Aang. Question. Based on the WRI of Ieng On, document E3/9352, Eon in Khmer 00225355, English 00231660, and French 00226263. In the WRI, Ieng On made mention that Aang was the militiaman in Po Chen Dam, and the younger brother of Aang, named An, who is living now and is about 55 years old, is about 50 years old or over 50 years old. And in the same document, in the same page and on numbers, Ieng On said, Eon in Khmer 00225356, English Eon 00231661, French 00226264. On stated that I was a militiaman for a period of 2 months. Please translation. Does this refresh your memory, witness? Witness. I recall it now. A actually was a militiaman in the village. Question. What about Ieng On? What was his role and function at the time? Answer. I did not pay attention to that matter, and it happened a long time ago, about 30 years already. I cannot recall it. Question. Besides Aang and Ieng On, do you know another person by the name Tri or Ta Tri? Answer. he is quite old. He was quite old, and he passed away a long time ago. Question: what did this person do in Pol Pot's time? President, please observe the microphone before you answer, Mr. Witness. Witness. As I said, I was working in the field, digging the soil, carrying the earth and working the field. So I did not focus on who did what at the time. Question: in the same WRI of Ieng On, in the same EON in Khmer, with the ending in Khmer 55, Ieng On stated that Tri was the owner of the horse cart, of a horse cart. Pre-translation. Does this refresh your memory, Mr. Witness? Answer: I knew at the time that Tri was the driver of the horse cart, and I did not know his specific function at the time, since I was working in the field. Co-prosecutor, now I am asking you about the village administration. Do you know the name of the Swai Anto village chief? Answer: Mut was the commune chief, and Chime, there was another person by the name Chime. Question: you made mention of the names Mut and Chime. Who were they? Answer: Mut was part of the commune committee in Pol Pot's regime, and Chime was part of the committee as well. Question: could you clarify for the court who was the chief and who was the deputy of the commune? Answer: Chime was first the chief of the commune, and Mut was the deputy. Question: do you know another person by the name Muon? Answer: yes, I do. Question: who was he and what was his function at the time? Answer: back then he was a group chief. What I knew is that he was a group chief in charge of leading the force to transplant the rice plants. Question: was he a group chief or the cooperative chief? President, please observe the microphone, Mr. Witness, before you speak. Answer: I did not for sure at the time. I can say he was a group chief at the time, and group chief was widely known as the cooperative chief as well. Question: do you know the name of the militia chief in the commune at the time? Answer. Ngoi was the militia chief, and he was also considered the security chief. Co-prosecutor, thank you. What about the district committee? Who were part of the district committee? Answer. I actually recalled the person who was part of the committee, and to my recollection, Ta Chongkom Prambay was the part of the committee. Co-prosecutor, I still have a few other questions to ask you. After 1975, when you were living in Po Chen Tam, what were you assigned to do? Answer. After 1975, I was simply an ordinary citizen. Question. What did you do specifically as an ordinary citizen at the time? Answer. After 1975, I was assigned to dig a canal, build the embankment. First, I was assigned to build the embankment at various places. I rarely stayed in the commune at the time. Question. Were you required to perform the tasks, or did you voluntarily go to work? Answer. We were forced under the Khmer Rouge leadership. No one, had the wish to say whether we like the job or not. Question. Can you tell the court how many people were living in your village and commune, and do you know how many Vietnamese were living within your village and commune at the time? Answer. To my knowledge, there were married Vietnamese living in the village and commune. There were only 3 families of Vietnamese people. President, please turn on your microphone, Council. I want you to tell the census or the statistic of people, Vietnamese people living in your village and commune. Do you recall how many Vietnamese people were living in your village and commune? Answer. I cannot tell you the specific number of Vietnamese people living in my village. Co-prosecutor. Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to seek the floor for my international colleague. I have no further questions. President, you have the floor now, International Deputy Co-Prosecutor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, Your Honors. Good afternoon, Council. Good afternoon, witness. My name is Andrew Boyle. I'm going to ask you a few questions on behalf of the Office of the Co-Prosecutors. I have one brief follow-up question. You mentioned that there were some Vietnamese advisors and soldiers in your area, and that you weren't sure when they left. Can you tell us, in relation to when Seng and Hun were appointed as the deputy and the chief of your village, were the Vietnamese advisors, had they left by the time that Seng and Hun were appointed the deputy and the chief of your village?
Answer. I do not get your question, counsel. Could you repeat it, please?
Absolutely, no problem. You mentioned earlier that there were some Vietnamese advisors in your village or in your district, and that you weren't sure exactly when they left. And I'm wondering if you were able to say if they had left by the time that Hun was appointed the chief of your village.
Answer. In fact, at the beginning, Seng and Huan were not the deputy and the chief in the village.
I understand, and I believe you said that they were appointed the chief and the deputy in 1975. And I'm wondering if you're able to tell us in relation to that event, if the Vietnamese advisors that you had mentioned had left the village already at the time that they became at the time that Huon became the village chief. Had the Vietnamese advisors left at that point?
Answer. When they were appointed chief and deputy chief of the village, the Vietnamese had already left the area.
Thank you very much. You mentioned that there were 3 couples in your village where that were of mixed Khmer Vietnamese. Are you able to name the 3 individuals in those couples that were Vietnamese? The 3 people in your village who were Vietnamese.
Answer. Yes, I can tell you the Vietnamese couples. Like me, had the Vietnamese wife, and the second family, Uyen, had the Vietnamese husband, Choi. And I cannot tell you the name of Lightney's wife. And Ngang was the husband of Tek.
You mentioned that you weren't able to identify the name of the Vietnamese wife of Lac Ni. If I say the name Sum San, does that refresh your memory?
Answer. As I said, I did not focus on the specific name of those couples Frankly speaking, I only knew clearly the names of the husbands.
Mr. President, with your permission, I would like to give to the witness the first page of a DC CAM document that is E37562. That's the DC CAM statement of 2 TCCP 869 in order to ascertain if the witness knows the individual whose name is listed there.
President, yes, you can proceed.
Mr. Witness, without saying the person's name that you see written there, can you please tell us whether you recognize that name?
Answer: I have never known this person, or this. I do not recognize this name.
I'm going to try with another individual. This is the, Mr. President, with your permission, this is the first page of document E37594. That's a DC CAM statement of 2 TCW 957. And I'd like to ascertain if the individual who's named here, if the witness knows that individual.
President, yes, you can do so. Witness, I cannot recognize this person or the name.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. Mr. President, I'm going to try to proceed regardless of the witness's inability to identify these individuals, but I do want to note for the record that in the witnesses, one of the witnesses' written records of interview, that's E3/5244, English ERN 00233, 299, Khmer 00224794, and French 0023148. He identifies by name each of these individuals who I have tried to have him identify and using only their pseudonyms. So I want to put that on the record, and I'm going to proceed, hopefully without having to use their names. So just, Mr. Witness, to recap the individuals that you identified, could you tell us again, to the extent that you remember, the three individuals of Vietnamese ethnicity and their spouses' names from Pochendam village?
Answer. Regarding the three Vietnamese couples, there was an individual by the name Ngoi, Ta Choi, whose wife's name was Uyen, and Ngoi's wife's name Tet. For like me, I cannot tell you the name of his wife.
And the people that you named who were Vietnamese, how did you know that these people were Vietnamese?
Answer. Tet was a citizen in the old regime, and she married the Vietnamese man. And Ni was also a Cambodian citizen and married the Vietnamese wife. And Uyen married the Vietnamese husband after 1975, said the witness. And the three couples were living in a Pochendam village.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. That wasn't quite what I was asking, and I ask that you pay close attention to what my questions concern, just because we have very limited time. My question was, the individuals that you named that were Vietnamese, that is, the wife of Lac Ni, whose name you don't remember, Ngong is how I heard you pronounce the name, and Chui. How did you know that they were Vietnamese?
Answer. The husband of the female Tet came to conduct a business in the country, and then they got married. Joy was in the same case. He came to do the business and afterward married the wife. Ni was an ordinary citizen in at the time, and he married a Vietnamese woman who was a waitress in a restaurant.
going to try a somewhat more pointed question. Did you know that they were Vietnamese, for example, because they spoke differently from Khmer people, or because they had different traditions from Khmer people, or they looked different from Khmer people? How did you know that these three people were Vietnamese or of Vietnamese ethnicity?
Answer. Let me enlighten the matter. I can recognize and tell that Tek was the Vietnamese since she spoke Khmer with accent. The same applies to Choi and Ngoi. I cannot tell you for sure how I could recognize the wives of Lajni, who was a Vietnamese, but I knew that she was a Vietnamese.
Would you or others in your village make assumptions about who was Vietnamese based on how people looked, their facial features or the color of their skin or anything like that?
Answer. I could recognize that they were Vietnamese since they did not speak Khmer very well and clearly. They spoke with accent. I knew for sure that they were Vietnamese since they came to do business in the country. They were vendors, and later on they fell in love with the woman or the man, and they got married at the end. President, thank you. International Deputy Co-Prosecutor, thank you, Mr. Winner. It is now time for the adjournment. The hearing will resume tomorrow, Wednesday, 6 January 2016 at 9 a.m. Tomorrow, the chamber will continue hearing the witness Ting Paul to its conclusion, and there is a reserved witness to TCW 904 to testify about the treatment of the target group, that is Jam people. And first thing in the morning, the chamber will start to hear the submission of parties and the responses of the defense. There was request to admit some documents as evidence into case 002/02, so please be informed and be on time. Thank you, Mr. Ting Paul. The hearing of your testimony as a witness has not come to an end yet. You are therefore invited to be here once again before the chamber at 9 a.m. Court officers, please work with the vessel units to send Mr. Ting Paul to the place where he is staying at the moment, and please invite him back into the witness stand to testify at 9 a.m. However, since we are hearing submission and responses of party first thing in the morning, court officer, please find a proper room for the witness during the morning, and afterwards the chamber will order to bring in the witness after the submission of party and the responses. Court of security personnel are instructed to bring the accused back to